experiences with the 8th principle. You have 5 minutes. Heather, you want to go first, or Diane, you want to go first?
Well, I'll start, but I'm going to turn it over to Diane pretty quickly.
All right.
Yeah. Because Diane, we formed a task force, and Diane was the energy behind that. And she will go through some of the details. She and I were talking earlier today, and I was reminded that the passing the 8th principle is the first step. A lot of congregations feel like now we've done it, but in the principle it says accountably dismantle, and that means you've got to, you can say you believe it, but you've got to do it. So Diane was very involved with the steps. So I'm going to let Diane talk a little bit about what we did. Go ahead, Diane.
Okay. Hi, good evening to everyone. It's a privilege to be here with you tonight. And I'd like to thank Paula Cole-Jones and Bruce Pollock-Johnson for doing the groundwork for us. We used your names many times in our work. When we started in the fall of 2017, we knew we had a big charge ahead of us. We had made some missteps when we hung our Black Lives Matter sign by not having enough communication in our church. We thought, yeah, everyone's going to love this, and they did, but all the unconscious bias came out because we didn't do a good job of preparation. So we worked really hard as a task force of 11 people. We met every week, the months of December and January 2017 and 18, planning how we were going to communicate with the congregation, how we were going to target. We picked a few individuals who we thought might benefit from some individual contact. And we called those people individually or met them for coffee and met it head on with them. That was probably one of the smartest steps we took, because as you know, it can just be a handful of people who can make a lot of noise. It just ended it right there, because we talked with each of those people individually. And then we also were so blessed to have the words from Bruce Pollock-Johnson and Paula Cole-Jones, because as Unitarian Universalists, people like to wordsmith, and every time people would say, well, it really should say this, and you should say this, and you should say that. And we said, no, we are not going to undo the good work that these people did. And they researched. They know what is needed. We are going to follow their guide on this. That really made it easy for us that way. We had 7 congregational gatherings, opportunities for congregational gatherings. One was a 2-hour one where we sent out an all-church email. And that one was about a month before our congregation meeting, when we voted it into our bylaws and into our government processes in our church in April of 2018. The biggest.
Oh, go ahead. Wait, you said the biggest. Go ahead. We got to hear that.
I was going to say the biggest pushback we got, and just to forewarn people, we had so much discussion about other oppressions. And I even talked to Bruce about that, and I talked to Paula about that at a meeting, and got some guidance from them as to how to handle it. So that was very helpful. And it was almost a unanimous acceptance at our church meeting, when our congregational meeting, when we voted to accept this into our documents and into our not just documents, into our daily actions as a
There you go.
church community.
Right.
A
That's
big,
great.
a big question we got was what does accountability mean? What does that mean? And they questioned that a lot. And that's why I said passing the eighth principle, approving it or, supporting it is the
Adopting it.
first step, because then you have to do something. And that's been challenging, but we're trying to walk the walk.
But
Yes.
to sum things up, it wasn't me. And it should not be the ministers. I mean, we're the spiritual visionaries, sort of, pointing the way and helping people to stay grounded in the process, but not the ones to be doing this. That's the mistake I think we've always made in the past, expecting the minute. If the people don't want it, then it's not going to happen. So, and I love these two ladies, and our church is so completely transformed around anti-racism as a result of those two things and so much more that I can honestly say, even though you may not be sure, it's a part of a process that will take you in places that you did not expect or think you could go. So